Good morning. I'm Brian Vish. It's Tuesday, March 11th, 2025. Welcome to the Daily Dispatch, your daily news update from the Bull Moose Network. Michigan's minimum wage increased to $12.48 per hour on March 1st, 2025, following a bipartisan agreement between Governor Gretchen Whitmer and Republican legislators. The plan aims to reach $15 per hour by 2027, with annual inflation adjustments thereafter. However, the agreement maintains a lower minimum wage for tipped workers currently set at $4.74 per hour, which will gradually increase to 50% of the state's minimum wage by 2031. This compromise follows a Supreme Court ruling that reinstated voter-backed wage changes previously altered by the legislature. The deal has elicited mixed reactions, with labor unions and advocacy groups like One Fair Wage expressing opposition, while some workers voice concerns about potential impacts on tipping and job security. In response to tariffs imposed by President Trump, Ontario Premier Doug Ford announced a 25% increase in electricity prices for New York, Michigan, and Minnesota. This hike introduces a $7 per megawatt hour fee on energy exports to these states, potentially generating up to $276,000 per day. Ford expressed regret over the impact on American residents, attributing the situation directly to U.S. trade policies. The practical effect on U.S. consumers might be minimal, though, due to the small proportion of electricity these states import from Ontario and the availability of alternative sources. Michigan experienced a notable increase in unemployment during the harsh winter months of late 2024, reaching 5.2% in December, the highest since October of 2021. The tourism-dependent Thumb area, heavily influenced by seasonal shifts, contributed to higher unemployment rates during this period. Despite rising joblessness, Michigan's workforce grew, though, by 41,000 people in 2024. Key sectors such as government, construction, private education, and health services saw significant employment gains. While the unemployment rise is concerning, no large-scale layoffs have been reported, suggesting the increase may be seasonal and related to economic fluctuations rather than long-term trends. The Manistee County Community Foundation has secured a $50,000 grant to improve childcare infrastructure and address regional childcare shortages. This grant is part of a larger $1.3 million Rural Readiness Grants awarded by the Michigan Department of Labor and Economic Opportunity. The initiative aims to enhance economic growth and quality of life in Michigan's rural areas by bolstering infrastructure, housing, and essential services, including high-speed internet and workforce training. In national news, the Senate has confirmed Lori Chavez-DeRemer as the new U.S. Labor Secretary. Chavez-DeRemer, a former Republican Congresswoman from Oregon and daughter of a Teamsters member, was confirmed with bipartisan support. She now leads the Department of Labor, which oversees employment standards, occupational safety, and wage regulations. During her confirmation hearings, Chavez-DeRemer faced questions about her stance on the PRO Act, a bill designed to facilitate unionization by weakening state right-to-work laws. Under questioning, she distanced herself from key provisions of the PRO Act, particularly those overriding state right-to-work laws, stating she no longer supports such measures. This shift has raised major concerns among labor advocates about her commitment to workers' rights. In Washington state, lawmakers have proposed a bill that could impact major retailers such as Walmart and Aldi. The legislation would limit self-checkout kiosks to operate only when a regular register is open, restrict customers to a maximum of 15 items at self-checkout, and require workers to monitor no more than 2 kiosks simultaneously. Stores larger than 15,000 square feet would be affected, while membership-based clubs such as Costco would be exempt. The bill is currently under revision following feedback from grocery retailers, and I'm sure they had plenty. The U.S. stock market has experienced significant volatility amid fears of potential recession. Major markets, including the NASDAQ Composite and the S&P 500, have seen sharp declines. Companies like Tesla have faced substantial share price drops. These fluctuations are attributed to concerns over President Trump's trade policies and recent government job cuts, which has raised alarms and concerns about economic stability and inflation. President Trump has also signed an executive order barring student loan forgiveness for public servants involved in improper activities. Additionally, the administration has canceled $400 million in federal funds to Columbia University, citing alleged failures to protect students from anti-Semitic harassment. These actions reflect the administration's stance on no accountability for Israel and its genocide in Gaza. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission is offering $50,000 in incentives to certain employees who choose to resign or retire early. This move is part of a broader effort to reduce staff and costs, aligning with the Trump administration's view on the federal workforce as oversized. Employees have until March 21st to decide. Additionally, the General Services Administration plans to cancel leases for SEC offices in Los Angeles and Philadelphia, with Chicago's office under consideration. And that's today's Daily Dispatch on the Bull Moose Network. Eyes open, voices loud.